Let me take you back to the 90s.
These games are getting really realistic.
Specifically PC gaming. Very primitive at the time and mostly used for work. People still got around to playing their video games on their desktop computers. What did it look like, you may ask?
Internet porno.
However, that doesn't stop them from being instant classics. And as the years went by, games looked better than ever. We got them looking from this to this. Wolfenstein, Doom, Rise of the Triads, Shadow Warrior, Blood, and Power Slave. However, during this era called the golden era of shooters, there's this one game that kept people coming back, and that game is Duke Nukem 3D.
You suck.
Released in 1996 and developed by 3D Realms, Duke Nukem 3D is a first-person shooter game where the player takes the role as Duke Nukem to save the Earth from the alien scum and especially saving the babes. You did it in the first game, you did it in the second, and now you're doing it for the third fucking time to fight through your way of the alien race by shitting and pissing on their corpses. Fast-paced action using a plethora of weapons you can use, find key cards around the area, and hear Duke say those memorable one-liners.
You fucked up my face.
But that's not all. This game has suggestive content as you battle those alien bastards who took down your ride. Need a break? You can go to the many strip clubs that are available to you and have a good time. And what I mean by good time is destroying property as much as possible. Environmental exploration and interactivity is consistent, especially in Duke Nukem 3D. And that's what made people love this game so much, myself included. The game was that good to the point where 3D Realms was planning on making a sequel called Duke Nukem Forever, which took a really long time to develop over the years for some fucking reason. Numerous delays, complications, and engine changes from the Quake engine to Unreal. It's been reworked from the ground up constantly that Duke Nukem Forever got an award as vaporware, which is pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. It got so bad to the point that the IP was sold to Gearbox Studios. Yes, the same fucking guys that released Borderlands 3. And with their help, 3D Realms has finally released the game into the year of 2011. A whole 15 years in the making. So hi, it's me, IndieAnjelo, and today I'll be covering Duke Nukem Forever for the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Duke Nukem Forever is a first-person shooter game developed by 3D Realms and various other companies and published by 2K. Do you like saving the world from aliens? Again? Do you like not using your boot instead of using your weapon as a melee weapon? Like in fucking Halo? And the most important question of all, do you like waiting for a game that doesn't meet your expectations like you did back in '96? If you answered yes, welcome to the world of Duke Nukem Forever. Turret sections? Yeah, let's put that in the game. Bad platforming? Don't forget about those Valve puzzles.
I hate Valve puzzles.
Taking place in Las Vegas, a place where everyone can become crippled by debt, and it is home to the underground homeless who reside there. Duke Nukem Forever unfolds in Duke's established home. Over the years, following the events of the previous game, he has not only made it his residence, but has also achieved fame. This is made evident by the multitude of portraits showcasing his iconic figure, along with monuments and locations proudly bearing his name. Duke takes pride in himself, and this self-assertness is prominently displayed throughout his Vegas domain. And throughout the game ventures into locales like this place.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I remember this scene.
The desert?
You gotta be fuck. You gotta be kidding. What the fuck?
and various other exciting levels, I guess.
Ah! Wait, whoa! Whoa, what? Whoa, what the fuck?
The experience I had playing this game isn't great, and pretty much the same of how I played it on my 360 at the time.
What are you doing with it?
But now, as a mature adult, I think it's high time for me to finally play this game from start to end after all these long years. Looking at it with a critical mind to see if it's that bad of a game. I know Duke Nukem Forever is objectively a bad game, just look at the Metacritic score alone. So, will this game be balls of steel or balls of dog shit? So yeah, the fucking story. The game starts with Duke taking a piss in the bathroom and finds himself facing an alien attack, leading to a 1-to-1 recreation of the final boss battle facing the Cycloid Emperor from Duke Nukem 3D. It's revealed Duke has been playing this version of Duke Nukem Forever while getting attention from his two babes.
What about the game, Duke? Was it any good?
No, we also find out that the aliens launch an Earth attack, literally from the same enemies from the previous game. In the Duke cave, the president urges Duke not to retaliate, despite the unprovoked aggression. The general agrees too, acknowledging the oddity, saying, "I know it's gay and all, but yeah, please don't kill the aliens, Lamau." The president aims for a peace offering. I mean, what the fuck you mean by a peace offering? These guys don't even speak our language. Okay, that sounded really bad. This does not concern Duke, as the first enemy of the game lets you punch the living shit out of it to its demise. A yellow key card, you say? We won't be seeing that throughout the whole game. So yeah, that's the basic gist of the story. Pretty straightforward, but not very memorable. So how does the game play out, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. During my playthrough, one notable aspect of Duke Nukem Forever that stood out was the lackluster exploration and interactivity. A feature that Duke Nukem 3D had made enjoyable. However, in this game, such elements are more limited than ever. Sure, you can engage in certain actions like spinning chairs, picking up a vibrator of all things, and even letting you hold shit in the first level of the game. I bet the devs probably spent more money on this part instead of making a good game. The overall exploration feels more constrained compared to the open and varied environments of Duke Nukem 3D. Take this part where the game lets you put a rat in the microwave. Also, by interacting with certain objects within the game world, you increase your maximum ego, the health bar that regenerates over time. There are no medkits for you to pick up in order to replenish your health. You only depend on taking cover every fucking time like a pussy when you get hit, interrupting the flow of combat, which makes the game even slower to get through. I know this was a thing back when gray modern games took that route in the game design, but no, it's really not good in this one. A more definitive way in replenishing your health is executing an enemy when they're stunned, in quotation marks. The animation for this looks really bad. This kind of mechanic can be seen in Doom 2016, a game that came out 5 years after, and at least the execution mechanic in that game is fleshed out very well. It meshes well with the movement in that game, while here it felt uninspiring. It doesn't really complement the gameplay at all. Another thing too, there are a lot of arena shooter segments and even glorified shooting galleries at times, and I mean a lot of them. For a Duke Nukem game, this is fucking retarded. No secrets, well, there are funny Easter eggs, I guess, or even loot such as ammo. You only depend on ammo crates, ammo from fallen enemies, and lockers. I neglected the lockers until the very end of the game when I actually started opening them for items and ammo desperately. The items in question are beer, steroids, and the Hollow Duke. The beer reduces the damage you take for a brief period, blurring your vision in game. Steroids making you big and strong and going on a roid rage, killing every alien you see, basically having a psychotic episode. And finally, the Hollow Duke. It gives you an artificial copy of yourself, giving you aid while in shootouts. This is really useful because enemies can be bullshit most of the time, so it's always good to have one. I started using them near the end of the game when I could have gotten them early on. Although, what really makes the game fun sometimes is when you are fighting enemies. You can pick up shit, like objects, and start throwing at them.
Guys, I got this.
It is stupid fun and can be used to your advantage when you're in tight situations. Yeah, that's all for the game itself. The weapons and overall combat in this game can be a lot to be desired. The arsenal that Duke has in 3D is impactful when shooting an enemy, especially the sound design. It really has a lot of oomph when firing a weapon in that game. However, in this game, some of the weapons here are okay, but most of them are dog shit for a lack of a better term. Take the freeze ray for example, possibly the worst weapon in the entire game because it takes forever to freeze an enemy, making you vulnerable to other enemy attacks. So you just gotta move around a lot, but still you have to focus on one enemy in order to freeze them. And I'm talking about like one enemy at a time. So overall the weapon is shit and it's best to leave it be. The shrink ray on the other hand is very effective, I think, making the enemy small, allowing you to stomp on them in seconds. Not as good compared to the one in Duke 3D. The only weapons I use throughout the game are the shotgun, the ripper, and the railgun. The M1 911 is just your average pistol, and the alien weapons such as the AT laser and the AT Captain laser. What's the fucking difference? I got nothing to say because I barely use them, although the AT laser is alright at the start of the game but becomes useless once you've obtained either the shotgun or the ripper. What I'm basically trying to say is that stick with those weapons and you do just fine. In addition to that, I am holding 4 weapons at a time because before the limit was only 2, but from what I read, only the PC version, the version I was playing for the sake of this review, allows 4. You can actually toggle this in the options. Should have been 4 from the start in my opinion. Why does it have to be a fucking option is beyond me.
There's aim assist, and there's like an option where you can expand the inventory. Inventory holds 4 weapons instead of 2, so no wonder why people are saying you can only hold 2 weapons when there is an option in the game settings where you could toggle an expanded inventory system. Like, why in the game settings? I don't understand that.
Now, the levels, right? As I mentioned before, they were very linear, lacking the excitement I expect from a Duke Nukem game. Scripted events and turret sections with puzzles and obstacles like a seesaw, remotely controlling a car, rolling an alien, and switching pipes around. While I do appreciate the effort, this isn't the Duke Nukem experience I'm familiar with. It feels more like hand-holding, providing clear indications of where to go next, similar to a waypoint system in a Call of Duty campaign, which hinders free exploration within each level. The driving segments are a mixed bag. In the Lady Luck level, getting shrunk down and driving a remote car was surprisingly fun, with ramps and fast-paced action. Another enjoyable moment was running over aliens with a forklift, though it was a one-time thing. However, the desert driving segment overstays its welcome, with long stretches of empty space, minimal enemies, and the repetitive task of finding gas tanks to keep the truck running. Riveting gameplay. Wow. The underwater segment in the level Underground was frustrating. Fucking frustrating. I died numerous times in a short part of the level.
That's actually bullshit. What the fuck? Oh my god, I don't know how many times I died in this part. I lost count. I lost count, my guy. I lost count. What the hell, man?
It's gonna fuck up my hair.
This is gonna fuck up my hair. I'm gonna keep hearing that every time I die and respawn.
That involved planting bombs and replenishing oxygen by inhaling bubbles. What the fuck, man? The area with a constantly spinning turbine wheel was especially challenging as I had to avoid it while being attacked by persistent enemies. These enemies hover in groups, making it hard to survive, and I found myself dying constantly.
What the fuck, man?
This part was fucking stupid. Stupidly hard. for no reason, making me wonder who on the development team thought this was a good level. A good level. This is not a good level. This is a stupid level. What they could have done to make this whole part better is by bringing back the scuba gear from Duke 3D. At least it will make the whole experience bearable. Or maybe I just suck at video games. Who knows? I don't know, man. Surprisingly enough, there are some pros I like to go into because there was some genuinely cool shit you see in this game. A little detail I noticed and liked was the debris coming off from the piece of concrete whenever you're being shot at while taking cover. Even a piece of armor coming off from an enemy every time you shoot at one was pretty cool. And breaking glass as well, with the glass pieces falling down to the ground. I know the 2001 prototype build did it better, but I really do appreciate this level of detail in video games, even for Duke Nukem Forever, something we can never get in current day games. It's quite depressing. But IndieAnjelo from YouTube.com. The 2001 build has shitty graphics. Have you ever played a video game with realistic graphics? You know GTA 6 will be the game of the year, you know that, right? However, the music itself is very forgettable. The only song I remember is the theme song because it's the theme song. Everybody knows the fucking theme song at this point, and I gotta say, it's a pretty good rendition, so a pat on the back to the composer, lol. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the funny story. Turns out the reason why the president doesn't want you to cause a mass genocide to these aliens is because he wanted to rule the world by using these aliens as a stepping stone for world domination. He didn't want you to save the world. That would be fucking stupid if you did. You fucking retard. The president wanted to befriend these guys for his own gain. He even gets pissed off at you for rejecting his command.
You! Damn it, Duke! Damn you! I had the Emperor eating out of my damn hand, and you blew it! All this death, all of this is your fault! You did this! You! Now I've gotta go find him and try to repair the negotiations you ruined! I told you not to get involved! Mr. President, we need to leave now!
But at the end, he just gets killed off at the climax of the game. Fight the final boss, the nuke hits the dam, then Duke dies. But not really, he's going to run for president. The end. From all the shit I said about this game, it's not good nor bad. I didn't really get into specifics and I can talk about the DLC too, but this video is already long enough, even for me. But the game is mediocre at best, but it's a very bad Duke Nukem game nonetheless. It did its job as a video game, but still has very questionable design choices. However, it has a bit of charm in a way, I think. I feel the developers of this game really worked hard on this and really wanted the Duke to go out with a bang, but it fell short at the end. It's such a mess of a game. It just doesn't know what it wants to be, considering the development of this game. Also, when you think about it, the game essentially took elements from Duke 3D and put them into Forever, and throughout my playthrough, it just felt that we played Duke 3D again, but a more crappy version of it.
Sussy baka.
But the question is it worth playing this game? Sure, for $5, or better yet, just torrent it, because there's no way I'm paying this game for $20. You know what else you can get with $20? A better game? And for fuck's sakes, this is a game that got released in the same year with Portal 2 and Skyrim. Let me repeat, Portal 2 and Skyrim. Really though, I don't want to end this video with a sour note. So let's talk a little bit of the 2001 prototype that was leaked onto 4chan a few years ago. The prototype itself consists of broken and somewhat finished levels, the pissing mechanic in Duke's soulless eyes. Despite the unpolished and unplayable state of this prototype, the work and dedication that the team behind this build put in really shows how ambitious and big this game could have been. And quite honestly, it'd be remembered fondly if the developers went through with this version. If it weren't for George Broussard, the guy who kept wanting to put new shit in the game constantly. So far, this is a fine build, and they could have built on top of this version alone. No wonder why this game took a long time to develop. As sad as it may be, we'll never get the true Duke Nukem Forever experience from 3D Realms back in 2001. That's unless the fans do it themselves. The Duke Nukem Forever restoration project pretty much takes the prototype and builds around it to make it into an actual game. I'm really excited for this thing to come out fully since it's not done yet. Because of what I've seen so far, it just looks like Half-Life but with Duke Nukem in it. That's like the best comparison I can make. So yeah, I've always wanted to make a review of this game for the longest time, pretty much half of my life at this point. I don't know, despite being a flawed game and ridiculed by gamers alike, Duke Nukem Forever just lives on as a stark reminder of how not to make a game for a long time. You know that funny quote by Shigeru Miyamoto? Yeah, disregard that. It's been hyped up for years as a sequel to the renowned Duke Nukem 3D until it came out as this disappointment of a video game. So with that, I like to put this game to rest. For now. And if you notice the change of pace in this video, that's because I've put this in the back burner for a year at this point and I really wanted this video to be truly special to me, so I hope you understand. Hopefully this won't happen again considering my uploading schedule has been utter shit for a while. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, click on that bell, give it a like, and leave a comment down below. I also have a Discord server and a Twitter/X. Check those out too. I'll be producing more content like this in the near future or maybe another 5 months. I don't fucking know. So stay tuned and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Ciao. Oh yeah, I'm not paying for this just to play episode 5. Fuck you, Randy.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
And you are a lot of cum also, so...
Balls of steel.